Muslim feminists go to Islamic country. A Islamic country? Anyways. And then this happened by... That's an interesting name. SimpSaverSam. Interesting name. We'll go in. You can probably expect the usual stuff. I'm assuming we're about to expect the usual stuff. Women finding out, at least like Muslim women, white Muslim women finding out on what happens if you do this. But yeah, we'll go in. Also, please consider liking and subscribing. I appreciate it. And here we go.
So we live in this weird time where on social media, there's a lot of women defending Islam. They're considering converting to that religion. And we got some clips that will for sure help those women with their decision. Because let me tell you, some of them are just crazy. Crazy, insanity is the only word that comes to mind. So to start things off, this woman explains why it's such an amazing, beautiful thing for women to be part of that religion.
Yeah. I don't know if you've seen the Caleb Hammer financial audit video, but essentially, how do you say this? Yeah, essentially, what basically she was saying was that like Islam is one of the most pro-women religions ever, like one of the most feminist religions ever. And I was like, yeah, that can't be true. Like, look at all the Middle Eastern countries. We barely can establish a Muslim like democracy with a majority Muslim country. Like, we can barely do that. What makes you believe that it's pro woman?
Let's give it a watch.
Did you know Islam was the first society to allow women to keep their last name in marriage?
You also know that in Islamic countries, women need male permission to work, study, or travel. You also know that in Islam, female genital mutilation has been practiced to make sure women will not enjoy sex. Did you also know that in Islam, if a woman being raped and she cannot prove it by providing 4 male witnesses, she can go to jail for adultery or even to be stoned to death? You know that in Islam, a victim must marry her to preserve family honor. Did you also know that honor killing still practiced in Islam, and women that dishonor their family still being killed?
Yeah. Let alone, like, we know what happens to people that leave. They have to go in hiding. Some of them change their name. We know what happens to people that criticize this religion, right? They just get, right? We had this recent, not all too long ago, last year or 2 years ago, with a French man criticizing Islam and being, in his life being taken. Yeah, and people then in the comments justifying it with like, yeah, why was he criticizing Islam? Right? We are at that point. I think a lot of people just have Muslim fatigue, but that's just me.
And that practice usually go unpunished. Did you also know that in Islam, woman's testimony worth half of men's? Did you also know that in Islam, when a man want to divorce a woman, all he have to do is...
Yeah, he literally just has to divorce, while for women, they need to go through a obnoxious almost ritual to get through it. Like, they have to do a lot of stuff to even divorce. I wonder if she talks about inheritance, because inheritance also is cooked, because daughters only get half of what the sons get, and for wives it's the same. That's interesting. If I could live in Islam, I would rather die. That's all I'm gonna say.
just say 3 times, I divorce you, while women have to go a really complicated, long legal procedure. And by the way, because I'm actually Middle Eastern and I know the Islamic culture very well, unlike some people here, I can even tell you the exact words that they are using to do so. And it's para, para, para. This is it. As you also know that in Islam, a man can have 3 or 4 wives when a woman only allowed to have 1. And did you know that in Islam, marital...
Yep, and a Muslim man can marry and can date and be with any woman. A Muslim woman cannot date somebody who's not a Muslim. So yeah, a Muslim woman is only only allowed to date other Muslims, no non-Muslims. It's also funny, right? Here, I have observed something, and many others have observed something. These men, right, particularly younger men, will date, right? They will date women, non-Muslim women, and break up with them before Ramadan because it would be sin to date somebody who's non-Muslim, right? Still, right? Which is interesting, right? But after Ramadan, they just continued. TLDR. She's just going through all the things that women are not allowed to do, like um women needing to go through like a rigorous process to get divorced, women being stoned or sentenced to jail for if they are being assaulted and raped, for not being able to provide for male witnesses, by the way. So female witnesses don't even count. And some other stuff. There was some other stuff in there as well. But yeah, a lot of horrible things. A lot of horrible things. I wonder if she talks about the inheritance.
Is not considered to be a crime because women must
Oh, so you cannot. The man can force himself on you, and there's no consequences in the marriage.
be available for sexual relationship all the time because she is his property. And did you know that non-Muslim women are considered to be permitted to be and to have sex?
There we have more. What else do you need? I mean, come on. What else do you need? Yeah. I could live in a. No way. I would not do that. Maybe once they're freed.
Sexual relationship with them. That's why we see a lot of grooming gangs and gangs in Europe. Did you also know that
the UK particularly, also Germany. I think we in the last few years had like 900 of these. It's not it's not all too long ago. We had about 900.
Quran says that the men are in charge of women, and if your woman is disobeying you, you must strike her. Progressive love to portray brown people as magical oppressed heroes. We just saw Mamdani praising the Prophet Muhammad, and we all know who exactly he was. Let me be clear here. There is no such a thing Islamophobia. And if you keep lying about Islam just to be righteous, the 500,000 girls being raped in England, that's on you.
She isn't wrong. She isn't wrong. She isn't wrong, and it is very interesting. Apparently, you are, for example, in Canada, no longer allowed to cite the Bible to a certain degree. For some odd reason, you are essentially not allowed in the UK to criticize Islam anymore due to new laws, which is again very interesting. I also find it very interesting, right? Whether you agree with it or not, but I'm still gonna say it. Christians are forced and shamed if they don't accept LGBTQ. The same, however, does not go for Muslims saying the exact same thing, which is very interesting. How one should be like, you need to accept this, and for the other, it's like, it's fine, Muslim overlords. It's fine, right? It is very interesting, and that just only goes for women, right? Let's not talk what they do to gay men, lesbians, trans, right? Though technically they're kind of supportive of trans, but kind of not. Like they will take a gay dude and forcibly transition him to be a woman. The more you know. But yeah. Or they will just throw you off of a rooftop. Nothing else to say here.
Well, I don't think I had to do much convincing. That video should have been enough. But if it isn't, there's more. It's just weird. Like, we live in this weird time where these people actually genuinely believe that converting to Islam as a woman is going to benefit them. And as you would expect, doing these videos, People don't like it, but at the end of the day, we're watching other people explain their experiences. But they don't want this stuff brought to light, which I just find really strange. So let's get into the next clip.
So we gotta talk about something that me as a white person, very Caucasian, is a little, I don't know, a little spicy. I'm clearly like looking for religion in my life right now.
Christianity it is. Buddhism. Fine. Shintoism. Fine. Whatever else there is, that's like not Islam. Fine. But not Islam. What are you doing? You gotta put away that hair, right? Because you need to cover that. Cover that. Cover that, right? Even face. Remember, even the face needs to be covered. You can only see the eyes.
Now, the closest people to me are Muslim.
That's very interesting. Sounds like you are a victim of grooming, but that's just me.
And I don't know. I kind of like, do I want to convert, bro?
So don't.
Like, I don't want to wear a hijab, and I also want to drink. So I don't know if I'll be a very good Muslim, but I don't know. I kind of like believe in Allah. Am I really? Oh my god, I'm really saying that. I don't know.
Man. Well,
Ma'am, are you stupid? Is this woman stupid? Genuinely, is she? What do you... So let me guess, okay? Let me guess, okay? Let me guess. Your boyfriend's is Muslim. Just let me guess, because that's the usual pipeline. Boyfriend is Muslim, white woman converts to Islam. That's the usual pipeline. That's usually how it goes.
I think it's a lot more than you not being able to drink and show your hair and things like that. It's a lot more than that. And it's been well documented at this point. Islamic scholars in the UK are shocked and appalled that British women dare to show themselves and even dare to laugh in public. What?
Embarrassment. If your wife is coming out in front of people, showing herself, embarrassing herself, being all hysterical and laughing and all of this in front of people that are just, maybe they're laughing at her, maybe some people are perverted, they're just lost.
Ah, yes. Of course. Ah, yes, of course. Nowadays, women are obviously not allowed, no fun allowed. Women are obviously not allowed to have fun. No laughing out here. How could you? That promotes lust. What are we doing? Why is Israel the most disliked country? They are invested in a lot of stuff that they just shouldn't be. That's just me.
By her or something like that, they're in love with her or something
I actually
like
know a guy who one hijabi YouTuber, he actually mastered her. Yeah, it's disgusting. I'm saying, know that your wives are putting themselves out like that in that way, and you got guys that are perving over them.
that. Imran gets these emails, I can't deal with those kind of emails, that's nasty, man.
Are you not just saying that if women were out there, you would be perving on them? That's just a huge self-report. That is just a huge self-report. It's nothing more than a huge self-report.
So they shouldn't act like that or dress like that because of other perverted people? No laughing, no nothing?
Gets them kind of stuff. How do you deal with that, man? But honestly, look.
And bear in mind, this is in the UK, guys. This is in the UK. What other people do in other places is fine, but this is in England.
Husband, you know that this is happening, and you let them. It's going to be a bit harsh, and you let your wife do that. And the Prophet ﷺ said that the youth will not enter into Jannah. I say,
because the UK has fallen. That is the only way you can call it. The UK has fallen. That there's nothing to argue about. Self-destruct self-destructive empathy is what I would call it, because that's what it is. I don't understand how you could do that. Especially if you're apparently, right, you should technically be so linked to freedom. Like the US technically, right? But somehow you're not, which is weird.
If you're not the youth, I don't know what the youth is, honestly. If this person not the youth, then what? And the youth is a person who doesn't have any jealousy to their female relatives.
Yeah.
If this person's not the youth,
He lets his wife go out how she dress.
Yeah.
Lets man look at
and
her.
the punishment for that is that they won't enter the Jannah, nor will they even smell the smell of Jannah. And the Prophet ﷺ said in a hadith which you mentioned before, in hadith Sahih Bukhari of Sa'ad.
No perfume, no laughing. Can't show your hair, right? I can agree with girls going out wearing next to nothing is bad. That shouldn't happen.
Yeah, that is something. Okay, yeah, I guess we have common ground, but like what they want is like just complete covering up. Like nothing seeing. Not only that, right, but even little girls. Which makes you beg the question, why little girls? You would be welcome on an island, I've heard. On a very famous island. You'd be very welcome there. Methinks. I would imagine. Russia, though, it's fine. It's fine. I guess. See, again, these countries, quote unquote, aren't hated, right? It's more so the governments that are hated
Across the board, but this might be a little bit over the mark if you ask me, because trying to control women rather than advocating that men have self-control is insanity to me. Surely we should be advocating for that, shouldn't we? Men shouldn't be doing those things. They shouldn't be acting that way or acting.
Of course. Like, that's the point, right? If a woman wants to dress however she wants, I guess go ahead. I'm not a fan of it. I'm not going to encourage it. I will criticize it, but if you want to do it, go ahead. But at the same time, that doesn't promote the idea that you should just lust over a woman or act weird or in worst case touch her. Keep yourself and keep your hands and your thoughts to yourself in this situation. And if you really feel like you can't control it, why are you even getting in situations where that's the case? And if that is the case, why don't you seek professional help? That's the thing. It's like this religion makes it seem that men are all like primitive beasts that can't control themselves when that's not the case, which makes it so weird.
Upon those things, self-control is an important thing as a man. So this is another clip one of you guys sent to me, and this is crazy. I can't play the sound. I can't play the sound because there's music. It will get copyrighted, so I'm just going to play it muted. But the clip alone is enough. Ooh.
That's a little girl, by the way. That's a little girl. And again, Muslim clothing is inherently sexual because its purpose is to hide feminine features so men don't get their urges up, quote unquote. Well, these men in this case. Just saying it.
I'll be interested to hear your thoughts about this.
Diabolical. Evil. Child abuse. This is child abuse.
Jeez. 1 million views, that video. See, maybe someone knows the reason for this, because I can't figure out what the reason is.
The same reason it is for adult women. It's supposed to stop men from lusting. That's the only reason. That is the intent behind it. And of course it's weird. It's so weird with a child. That is so weird. Really weird.
You know, adults, if they want to do that stuff, then that's up to them. But I don't get this. Maybe someone can clarify. Why do so many women defend Islam when it literally says in the Quran that a woman's testimony is worth half of a man's?
Why do so many women defend Islam when it literally says in the Quran that a woman's testimony is worth half of a man's?
Suicidal empathy. Not only that, it's also that they don't read anything, they don't understand, they consider, right, they've been propagandized, they consider everyone that quote-unquote is a minority to be precious and a victim, and it must be protected by cruel Europeans and white people. And I'm like, that's not the, first of all, Muslims are not a minority, right? That's just not the truth. There's like many Muslims on this planet. The first thing. It's also that just because you're a minority doesn't mean you are not a potential threat to freedom and society. Figures.
Why promote a religion that lets a man strike his wife?
Ooh.
Why are we romanticizing the hijab when women in Iran and Pakistan are getting beaten or killed for taking it off? Serious question though, if a system treats you like property, why are you protecting it? Is it fear?
Yeah, and all these psychopaths walk down the street with signs.
Patriarchy bad, but not Islam. Very interesting take. That's practically what they're promoting there. Patriarchy bad, but not Islam, because Islam is very feminist.
And flags and all that, talking like that they themselves would be accepted. I'm not sure about that one, mate.
Because questioning Islam can get you disowned or killed? Is it identity because walking away means losing your entire family and support system? Or is it like Western feminist hypocrisy where like criticizing Islam is considered racist?
It is.
Even when it's about women's rights. And
yeah, it is. It seems like one of the religions you can't criticize, but Christians, Catholics, they get mocked every day, and that's perfectly fine.
why do we call something empowering in the West if it's enforced by violence in the East? I'm just asking questions because if a religion makes women second class by design, why are women also the ones trying to recruit other women into it?
Yeah.
You're asking and wondering these same questions. Go ahead and follow for more and follow my
Grooming. It's grooming. If you want to call it that, it's grooming. Oftentimes from Muslim boyfriends. Because that's what I've been observing, that's what I've been seeing. Oftentimes these women join this religion because they have Muslim boyfriends. That's just how it is.
Substack and YouTube because I go into these things and
Well, a lot of the people advocating for it have no idea what they're getting themselves into. We've seen videos of the same people that go to those places, and unfortunately, I don't advocate for it. They meet reality. Unfortunately.
They don't read what's in there. That's why they don't know. They don't read it. They don't read it, so they just simply don't know.
But they realised that half the stuff that they were advocating for and believing in was a complete lie. And I mentioned in another clip about, I mean, this was all new to me. This was all new to me until one of you guys sent me this. Women.
Yeah, the perfume thing is new to me as well. I didn't know that one. That's new to me. I didn't know. Right? The perfume? I did not know that.
Are not permitted to wear perfume to avoid appealing to men.
Are ladies allowed to wear perfume outside their homes? Nope. Straightforward.
Damn.
Do you want me to elaborate on that? All right. The hadith of the Prophet ﷺ says if a woman goes out wearing perfume and a non-mahram is scented the perfume from her, it's written to her as if she has committed zina. It's your choice now. Oh, but you know I don't want to stink. Yeah, you can use a deodorant.
They can use deodorant but not perfume?
Yeah, how does that make sense? You can use deodorant, but not perfume. It's still giving a smell, isn't it? Like I said, a lot of this stuff is well documented at this point, and when I mentioned this in a video a few days ago, a lot of you guys...
I mean, there's a lot of really good and really strong smelling deodorant. So I am really confused on how this makes sense. It's huh?
just sent me a handful. This is how Muslims think of women. God created them like animals. What?
و اون زنها و خانمها هستن اینا عین
Cows
گاو
and
و
sheep.
They are like cows and sheep.
گوسفند هستن حیوان
They're animals. Yeah. Maybe Vlad wasn't all that wrong. Maybe just me though.
هستن ولکن و
Animals that God created, and what is man?
خدا خلقشون کرده برای استفاده من
For men's use? Bro, protect your women. I mean this. Men, we must protect our women from these. I can't say it. I can't say it, YouTube. It's your fault.
مردها
For men's use.
فقط
Wait, just so that men wouldn't? What?
واسه که مردا وحشت نکنن
Be afraid? He created these women.
این زنها را به شکل خود انسان خلق کرد
What on earth? In human form. So there are so in this man's religion, if you can call it that, because it's not a religion technically. It's a form of politics technically. It's not a religion. It's a cult, and it's a form of politics. First things first, those two things. So he's basically saying that they're essentially the same level as cattle. They just look human. Wow.
کرده اگر نه اینها عین همون گاو و گوسفند و عین همون
Like cows, sheep, camels, and donkeys. What the fuck is wrong with these people?
Man. Wow. Jeez. So a lot of these people that encourage other people to do the same. If anything, they're advocating for a dangerous thing, right? Because I'm not hearing any benefits here. I'm not seeing or hearing any benefits at all. None. I enjoy hearing testimonies from ex-Muslims, especially women, the targets of that religion. Muhammad's teachings traumatized this young lady until she found out the truth and embraced it.
Oh yeah, I've seen a few videos of this lady on TikTok. She's cool. I like her. Hi Cricket, how you doing? Hope you're doing well. Welcome to the death of Colt Door Kaduka Savage's tribal thingy. It is so weird. They're essentially saying that women are cattle, nothing more than animals, but in human form. I didn't know that. I didn't know the perfume thing either.
What happened?
What's really weird about Islam is that even your most minuscule actions are policed. Like, for example, you're not supposed to sleep on your stomach. Muhammad woke up a man who was sleeping on his stomach in a mosque and said, "Why are you sleeping like that? That's how people in hell sleep." And he
Huh? But you can't control how you will sleep. Especially if you move. That's just so illogical. What is going on?
He said that you should sleep on your right side, which is actually scientifically inaccurate. If you suffer from acid reflux with
You're supposed to. The most optimal position to sleep technically is on your left side. Though it does put strain on your arm. However, you can apparently fix that with a pillow. Or specific pillows, I don't know. But the optimal side to lay on is on the left side for your heart. It's also technically good enough to lay on the back, but a lot of people just can't do that, and also like it causes snoring if you want to be extremely shocked that can pick up a quote or two from the banned book of the terrible Khomeini. Interesting.
which I do, it actually becomes worse when you sleep on your right side because of the way that the stomach is shaped, and it's better for you to sleep on your left side. I can already see the swarm of angry comments saying that the hadith is not saying that it's better health-wise, it's simply just a ritual thing, which I'm fully aware of that. However, if Allah wanted us to sleep on our right side, then why did he not design the human body to be suited for that? Not only that, but you're not supposed to eat with your left hand because Satan eats with his.
What?
Huh? Then why are people created left-handed? This doesn't make sense. This is illogical. This doesn't make sense.
What? Don't eat with your left hand? What?
Left hand, but I'm left-handed, so it's easier for me to eat with my left hand. It's uncomfortable to force myself to use a spoon or a fork with my right hand. I mean, I can do it, but I don't enjoy it. I grew up with my family members. Whenever they would see me eating with my left hand, they would tell me to put the fork in my right hand. So it's just little things like that that gets policed. Also, apparently Allah likes sneezing, but he doesn't like yawning. And
What the fuck, dude? What the fuck, man? What do you mean? So sneezing cool, yawning not. Well, all of a sudden I feel oddly tired.
Nah. Are we for real?
And whenever you yawn, Satan makes fun of you. I don't know. These just really remind me that there is so much freedom in Jesus Christ. Jesus loves you and he is waiting for you.
Yep. I love that ending. Love to hear that. You got to remember, these are the same people that were out in the streets talking about borders are just written by man. There should be open borders everywhere. These are the same lunatics that.
The same people also that say, something about stolen land, right? The same people who say nobody's illegal on stolen land, right? Which is very interesting because technically everyone lives on stolen land. Do you give it back to the original owner of the land, like the ancestors, right? Even here in Europe, are you gonna be okay with kings again and queens and stuff? Would you be fine with monarchy again? Oh, wait, you wouldn't? That's a bit weird. I thought you wanted to give it back to the original owner. Oh. Just the people that just minorities. Oh, understood.
Do stuff to try and be the hero, but they don't actually believe.
And obviously this does not include Arab colonization, right? Of course. Just when it's white people.
What they're saying, right? These people watch the news. They believe everything they're told. They give them. Google is their best friend. These people, like this guy. These are the exact same people. And when this is all blown over, and no one's talking about it anymore, they'll just move on to the next thing. These are the same people that said if you don't get the vaccine and all that, you're going to be.
It is always, it's I think maybe I've seen the meme, right? It's like I support the current thing, and that is what it essentially is with these people. I support the current thing. Everybody talked about Ukraine and how it's important to fend off Putin. Well, then Gaza came. Now it's Iran. And nobody cares about Gaza anymore. And Ukraine. It's very interesting to see how this happens, right? Right. It's always like I support the current thing. We'll jump from this war to the next war to the next war. We'll jump from this issue to the next issue to the next issue. Just what's currently being giving just what's currently like the most attention. What gives the most clout for virtue signaling, of course. But do you know there's something called Islamophobia that does not exist? First of all, it's not fear. It's also not hate. It's called criticism. That's the first thing. Second thing. Is it hate if it's true? Important question. Anyways, nobody cared about Gaza in the first place. That's like the thing, right? It's all just virtue signaling. Nobody cared about Ukraine either. The people that cared just were so because it was currently, like I said, the current thing. I support the current thing. When now, if there would be now a if there would be like mass obliteration of a new war, right? Just another new war. Nobody would give a shit anymore about Iran, right? Then we gotta support whoever's getting cooked right now because they were stupid. It's the usual process. Something happens, people virtue signal about it. Something different happens, people start virtue signaling about it because it gives them more clout. It's just all a numbers game.
Wiped off the face of the earth in a few weeks. Well, what happened to that, mate? Because it seems like a lot of people are still here, including me. So, what happened there? Because all these people believed that was it. If you didn't have it, you weren't going to be here for much longer. Look how that turned out.
Borders aren't real. Nations aren't real. Literally none of this is real.
I never had the vaccine, oddly enough, because I got it twice, so I avoided it for the most time. Nobody already gives a shit about Iran, very sadly, because it's very different. I mean, at the core, it's still the same. Kind of. At the core, it's still the principle still applies. The principle still applies of I support the current thing. Can I send one last video to you? It's 8 minutes. Sure, we can do that.
It's all made up. Think about it. Lines on a map drawn by someone you've never met tell you where you can and can't exist. Mountains don't ask for passports. Rivers...
You can't exist.
So, I have a little question. Because, can I just live in your house? Can I just live... See, this applies as long as I just don't say, can I live in your house? Can I? Because if I can't, then you are a hypocrite. Because you are drawing an imaginary border of where I can't be. So you better let me sleep in your basement, because, of course, borders aren't real. If borders aren't real, I can obviously live in your house. Right? Anyways. Guys, my dad is getting roasted by blind people on the internet. He's running the marathon for them. How is he? Wait, that's interesting. How would you get roasted by blind people? Internet? Weird.
Well, you can. You just got to do it legally, mate. That's how it works, you donut.
Don't check visas. Birds fly across continents like it's nothing, because it is nothing. These nations that we think are...
Yeah. But have you ever seen a crow murk a human? Have you ever seen a duck flying over to Africa and committing crime? See, what they don't consider is that a human could do significantly more damage than a animal. That's why you're registered everywhere as a citizen, and you're registered everywhere, and you're public known, because, like, not publicly known, but you're known that you exist in this country. Because if you don't, and somebody does something, if that doesn't happen and somebody does something, how are you gonna catch them? That's what we have, like, a register, like, people registered as, like, where they live, where they work. I don't understand how that may... What?
So permanent. Changed 1,000 times. Flags come and go. Borders are redrawn. Governments fall. It's all just human invention. But the consequences are...
Just remember, guys,
Of course, nail polish. Why am I not surprised?
this guy's got his nails painted, so let's take his opinion lightly. No offense to people that have their nails painted, but it seems like all these people have the look we all know very well at this point.
Consequences are real. Families are torn apart, people starve in deserts or drown crossing oceans, not because they did anything wrong, but because of a line drawn on a map by some random person centuries ago. Nobody is illegal on Earth, because you can't be illegal on the planet that birthed you. If you think your life is worth more because of where you were born on this globe, I don't know.
No, you can't be illegal in the country you were born in. That's all there is to it. I find this very interesting. That's not what it's about. What it's about is the fact that people come into countries that they're first of all not supposed to be in, because we have laws and rules that everyone has to abide to. It's also that if somebody commits a crime, we can easily catch them and kick them out because they're known. But maybe it's just me. They said he's break the terms and conditions of something only because he's using the meta glasses to help in his run. Interesting.
I don't know what to tell you.
Well, what you could do is go to those places that believe in the same things as you and you see your quality of life. If your quality of life improves, do let me know. But
there is no such place. That's the thing. I don't think there's a single country that literally has open borders where you can just go into whenever you want. I don't think there's a single one. If I'm not mistaken, I don't think there's a single one. As far as I'm aware.
I'm pretty sure it won't, mate. There's laws in place for good reason. Because a lawless land, good luck. See, out of all the clips, this one has to be one of the craziest ones. A woman is detained by the Islamic Republic police for not wearing a hijab properly and forced into a van. Oh, man. Okay.
Goodbye, white woman. That's a white woman. Blonde hair, that's a white woman.
Wow.
Goodbye.
She did not want to go in there. Wow. Seemed pretty violent if you ask me. I mean, look at this. She was literally dragged in there. They were dragging her legs in. That is awful. And we don't know. There's people who have...
We don't know what's going to happen. She could be stoned. She could be put in jail. She could be whipped. We don't know.
Experience the same thing and they were never seen again. Hopefully that's not the case with her. I hope she's well, but I have little hope. And the comments on that video we just watched, there was a lot of people who weren't happy and there were videos responding to it. I'm pretty sure they weren't responding directly to it, but people were putting videos in the comments to try and say that it was a peaceful thing and nothing bad was going on, when anyone can watch that video and clearly see there's something bad going on. This was one of the videos.
Normally I don't do this, but somebody posted on one of my TikTok videos about I shouldn't be wearing this hijab with this accent. Well, let me tell you something. I am Irish and I am from the South, and I will wear this hijab because I wear it for Allah, not for no man, not for anybody else. I wear it for Allah. And if you have a problem with it, I don't know what to tell you. This is a peaceful religion. You need to do a little Google search instead of believing.
I think we should address the elephant in the room, literally. This is liberal white women. This is terrifying. This is terrifying. And they say men have been radicalized. Maybe so. But so have women, it appears. This is crazy. This is crazy. Again, I am assuming when I see this, that her husband or boyfriend is Muslim.
Everything that
Well, she said it. She doesn't wear it for any man, but isn't it designed so that other men can't see you? So she kind of is wearing it for other men, really.
you hear on the news, okay? It doesn't matter where you're from. You can be Muslim. It does not matter where you're from. You can be Muslim. It doesn't have anything to do with where somebody's from. So you need to do a little more educational background before you go posting stupid stuff. Because you're wearing a baseball hat, does that mean you're bald?
I'm so confused by the multiple personalities I'm seeing from this person.
Underneath that hat? If you are, that's your business. Just like this is my business, okay? Don't come on people's accounts saying stupid stuff like that. You should take that off with that accent.
Do Irish really sound like this? Interesting. You think the head cover give her away? What, even her shape? Is she human? I'm saying we should address the elephant in the room, and we're doing it literally. We are addressing the elephant in the room. She is the elephant.
You should mind your business.
I don't want to say to anyone like her that they're going to find out the hard way, but she might. She might. I mean, we've watched many clips in this video that prove what she's saying is incorrect. She might be alright where she's at, but if she went to some other places, yeah, they're not exactly treated to the utmost respect, are they? So let's go back to that clip and let's watch the rest of it.
I don't know. Look, here's the thing. When I did refugee work in Turkey in 2016.
Okay.
And I was Christian, like very evangelical Christian. I've told you guys this before. I left not being Christian because I was so shook that all these Muslim people were just having a great life. Prayers being answered.
Are you retarded? This is not a rhetorical question, by the way. She is, but how on earth is this possible? How on earth is this possible? I mean, Turkey isn't the worst place ever. Sure, I mean, they live off tourism, okay, fine. This is a Luke. I think, honestly, I have a question. How? This woman was this woman was lukewarm. If spending time with a certain group eradicates your faith, it wasn't there to begin with.
Answered by Allah. Like people living a very good life. Women getting a lot of respect. I don't know, guys. I'm just kind of like...
Where has she seen that?
I don't really know. I don't know. Me turning to Islam would be low-key crazy. But I'm also kind of like, someone give me the Quran in English. Do you guys know where you can get the Quran in English?
Well, this is the thing. If she does that, if she does convert, they're not going to tell her about the negatives, are they? Like all the stuff we've seen in this video, they're not going to tell her that. Because I'm not seeing many benefits. And I don't think she knows. Well, we know she doesn't know. And I think we can all agree that
Lord, let it rain, brain. We don't need water. We don't need the earth to be flooded by water. We need the earth to be flooded by brain. Brain cells, literally, raining from the sky.
the school system, the education system is in shambles right now. I saw this post. 4-year-old child has a meltdown because she wants to celebrate Ramadan. Non-Muslim mum doesn't know about it and tries confronting her non-Muslim little one. Who's teaching these kids about Ramadan?
I understand. And what I'm trying to tell you is that I don't know how to celebrate Ramadan, and I will look into it, but I don't know how to celebrate it right now.
I know how to celebrate. We eat Wednesday night and we stay up late. That's how we celebrate Ramadan.
Why are we trying to have conversations with children? Like, I understand what you're saying and trying to explain. You just say, look, shit ain't happening. Right? That's what my parents used to say to me. They don't sit me down and talk to me like I'm an adult. I'm a child.
I don't understand Wesley's again. Nose ring makes sense. Apparently, why are you even proposing? Why are you even proposing looking into it and considering celebrating it? Are you out of your mind? Are you stupid?
That's all parents got to say, haven't they?
And you also look at real dragons.
You look at real dragons? Can someone fact check my 4-year-old?
Well, that's your job. That is your job. And that's... It's only coming from the school, right?
It is the school.
It's coming from the school, isn't it? Mostly.
Yeah.
But we've covered a lot of clips. I'll be interested to hear your thoughts. I didn't need to do much convincing or talking in that one. I think the clips did 99% of that. And this is only a small amount. There's flipping thousands and millions of videos out there like that.
That's pretty much the end of the video. Yeah, my stance just got even harsher than it already was. Yeah, we're cooked. We're just cooked. We gotta save our women from indoctrination, otherwise we are fucked. I don't say this lightly, but protect our women.